Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Races Driving League for Season 14, round number 19 of the season, the United States Grand Prix here at the fabulous Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And we should be in for yet another fantastic installment of this, quite frankly, brilliant season of competition. The title fight continues on, but despite his victory last time out, Che Oliver will not feature in tonight's Grand Prix, and neither will Touch Me Pope. Neither Mercedes car in the race tonight. So, could be a problem for the Silver Arrows in both their Drivers' and Constructors' Championship fight. Grumio comes into this one 20 points clear of Che in the Drivers' Championship, and Mercedes 53 points off of Aston Martin at the top of the Constructors. So, it's all in Aston Martin's hands. Of course, the big news coming out from the last week or so, since the last Grand Prix, we were under the impression, before F1 23's release date was announced, that we'd be seeing only 2 more races in the season, those 2 races being Qatar today and Brazil next week, but unfortunately, the season has been extended. The season has been extended once again, so we are now featuring. If I get the calendar up once again, I see Ethan on his way out here. The first car out for qualifying here. Season now extended to 24 races, so that will bring us all the way up to the day before F1 23's Champions Edition release, which will be on the 13th of June. So we have USA tonight and Mexico next week on the 15th, Abu Dhabi on the 22nd, Portugal on the 29th, China on the 5th of June, and Brazil, the reverse grid finale, on the 12th. So 6 more rounds of competition. So this Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship could go anyone's way. As we gear up for what should be a very exciting end to this 14th season of RDL competition. Right, so Ethan's on his way around here in the Red Bull. He'll be looking to set the first qualifying lap of the night. Of course, Ethan currently running a bit further down in the Drivers' Championship on 100 points, sitting in, if I have a count here, sitting in 8th place. So here he comes after the last couple of corners, looking to try and close on Websy and TJ in front of him in the race for 6th. And Lando not too far in front of them either. He's on course to finish 5th right now. So here we go, Ethan on his first lap. Here we go, up the hill towards turn 1. It's a very steep incline compared to most. And into turn 1, it's very blind on the entry. You've got to sort of figure out guess where the curb is. He's got it right that time. And now through that sweeping right-hander at turn 2, and now towards the S's. He's got to get absolutely inch perfect if you want a chance at a good first sector and a good lap in general. This is a good start for the lap from Ethan here. First sector, 25.4. Continues on now into the end of that technical sector on the circuit. And now this next sector is going to be about a bit more brute speed as opposed to cornering ability. So we'll see what he does here. Down into the next left-hander. Yellow flag for the back. So either his teammate in the Red Bull, Zach Sherman, or the Aston Martin, or one of the Aston Martins. I believe that is Grumio. But I could be wrong. It could be Lando. I believe it is Grumio. It's confirmed. So DRS now activated on the straight, making its way towards that very tight left-hand of the sun. Absolutely blinding here as we make our way into the corner. And now second sector split, 1 minute 3.06. I see what that compares later on in the session. And now into the 3-point turn here. On the curb in the middle of the corner. Slightly wide on the exit. And now coming towards those last 2 left-handers to finish the lap. Down the little slope. And now on the curb on the final corner. And off it to complete the lap. 1 minute 33.8, the first effort of the night. Now, big news coming out of the Alfa Romeo camp, the return, or at least instead of Alfa Romeo camp this week, Lucky Lambert returning, his teammate from the PJ Canada goes second, so Lucky Lambert returning as a reserve for the rest of the season and taking on a full-time role in season 15 on the new game, so welcome him back to the league after his absence. Look forward to seeing what he can do in tonight's race. So PJ, his teammate, goes in second place, just behind Ethan. Ericsson in third. Next car through is the Alpine of Mr. TJ. Here comes off the final corner and charging towards the line here. 1 minute 47, not the best of efforts there at all. Zach Sherman goes fourth here on the Aston Martins. One of them into the pit lane here. One of them out on track. And that is Grumio who goes fastest on the medium tyres there. Well, well. Now, of course, the absence of Che Oliver tonight with Grumio back in the field after his race ban in Japan is clearly not lost a single foot of pace. Hasn't lost a bit of that pace he possessed over the first 17 rounds of the season. Of course, he's picked up 6 wins from those 17. 6 of those wins also coming up the way of Che Oliver. A fantastic lap in the Aston Martin. But Lemons, in taking the Mercedes place tonight, goes even faster. Now, Lemons was a contender over the course of his debut last time out in Japan. Came home on the podium. Of course, that time he was in Grumio's Aston Martin. Now he's taking on that car in the attempt to try and beat him in this qualifying session. JB went 6th this last time round. Lucky we're down to 8th right now. TJ is still 9th. We're down to 9th. Curtis in 10th. 1 minute 58.3 for him. Next car across the line, I believe, was one of the Alfa Romeos going to the pit lane. Next car to go through will be the Haas of Ericsson, who may also be going to the pits. Yes, he is. Majority of cars here looking at stops. We're coming back to the pit lane, regrouping, getting themselves going again. Both McLarens on the track right now. There's Fan, 1 minute 3.2 in the second sector on those medium tyres. Always using the mediums for the banker lap is Fan. Into the final corner, we'll see just where it comes out. It's like on 1 minute 34 here, it is, but it's in P8. It's only on this medium tyres. We'll see where his teammate BJ comes out. That's BJ 4th in the championship. Currently 12 points off his teammate and 92 off the lead. On to the last turn, we'll see where BJ comes out. Looking at 1 minute 33 perhaps. Puts himself P2, that's in front of Grumio. The medium tyre Aston Martin. Put down the order a little bit. Lemons back into the pit lane here, currently holding on to provisional pole. Next car through to the line is Curtis, who is had his lap validated. It would have been an improvement that happened. Improved by 13.5 seconds. Only driver out on track guys and set a lap right now is Prolol. Only one currently on a lap. Of course, we've got 7 drivers to get set times. Landlord coming through to start his first lap. 10 minutes to go. Through the SC goes though, nice and smooth. Keeping it under control. End of the first sector, 25.2. Not too bad at all. Of course, someone different from last year, or last season rather, is guaranteed to win this race. Che Oliver took his first victory here last season. Of course, in this season, he's put up a valiant fight in the Drivers' Championship, but things not going his way right now. That gap could open up to 46 points between the 2 leaders. Should Grumio win and set fast as that tonight. Here comes Prolol now towards the final corner, but into the pit lane. Next car around is one of the Red Bulls. And then Ethan is coming towards the line. 1 minute 33.8. So slight improvement there, but not enough. I could be wrong. There could be the outlap glitch kicking in as it does. Fan just changing onto a set of soft tyres here. Perhaps looking at his second run of the session. Fan 80 points off the lead. See a car move up. Was Landlord who went 3rd fastest in front of his teammate there. But Grumio on a lap right now, no soft tyres. We could be on a lap. No, he's not. He's on his out lap. So we'll see where he comes out. We're looking at perhaps a 1 minute 32 for Grumio, of course. It's been said before many times this season, but the pole position rate from the championship leader has been absolutely immense. In terms of pole positions this season, we've only had 2 different drivers set them. Those drivers being Grumio and Oliver. Now Lemons almost did it last week For Oliver beat him out. Keep an eye on Lemons here. On his outlap. Grimio into the second sector. Waiting to deploy that DRS. Yeah, so in terms of this season, 14 pole positions from 18 races have gone Grimio's way. He's taken 7 fastest laps in the race. He's leading both stats there. Currently leading every single stat, either tied or outright. So leading in most wins, tied with Che. Most podium finishes, 11 over Che's 10. Most classified finish, he's finished 16 races this season. He's taken 14 poles, 7 fastest laps. He's doing a fantastic job. Over the line he goes fastest by 0.3 of a second. But Lemons already half a tenth up in the first sector. I can try and prove that if he can. Of course, Lemons is very pleased. We said last time out, we said to be through with the podium on his debut. Second place finish. So Che winning the race. Lemons second and Pope in third. Waiting on Fan to come through into his next lap. At 34.5, his best effort so far. Of course, the strategy implemented last week was Exxon going from a set of soft tyre to start to a set of hards. That allowed him to move up 11 places. So fantastic finish for him. Let's try and continue that good form into tonight. Of course, he'll be playing a big part in the Constructors' Championship race. McLaren lead behind Aston Martin by 36 points here, with both Fan and BJ putting up consistent finishes each time, each week in and out. I dare say there's still a good chance they could potentially overhaul Aston Martin in the Constructors' fight, as Lemons stays second fast. Look how close it is there. Just 12 thousandths of a second between the pair of them. Zach Sherman into the pit lane. Here comes Mr. TJ here, 6.3 down in his previous effort, so I assume he's pitting this time. Yes, he is. Fan invalidating his previous effort. See his son there beating down on the Circuit of the Americas. Of course, track temperature, a big talking point here in Austin. So a wet race has been an unlikely occurrence, but we'll keep us open. And Fan is, I'm not sure what he's done. He almost completely ran the car into the wall of the pit lane on entry. Whether he just went in too deep or not, I'm not entirely sure what the thinking was there behind Fan's entry to the pits. Regardless, he's in there though. Still 12th place though. So he would not be wanting to try and pull off an 11th place race again if he doesn't have to. So our car shut the times. That's lucky Lambert's just gone P10. Just 4 places off his teammate. Majority of cars in the pit lane here. We are looking towards those final few minutes. There's just over 4 minutes to go. I dare say we'll start to see a lot of cars out of the pit lane in these last couple of minutes. As Curtis goes top fastest, just in front of JB there. Still 5 cars yet to set times, or yet to set valid times at that. Prolol invalidates in the first sector. Alvar midway through sector 1 now. We'll see where he comes out. 25.5. Of course, Williams things didn't go very well from last time around. Looks to try and bounce back this week. Still sitting in 9th place in Constructors. Was 9 points. Sorry, 11 points. Sorry, behind. Sorry, 9 points behind Alfa Romeo in the standings, and as it stands, 11 in front of AlphaTauri. But I dare say, still have a chance to get this off the table with some good results tonight. Their best showing this season being a podium in Austria, swiped by JB, who sits 13th in the standings right now in terms of qualifying. Dare say we'll start to the pit lane get very, very busy here. Lycon, who was 8 tenths up in the first sector. I saw a car go up the timing screens there. That was Alvaro's gone P8. Curtis into the pits. Car behind him. That is Lycon, who's staying out to try and finish that lap off. We'll see where he emerges. Looking for 1 minute 34. It is. He goes 13th. Not too far off his teammate. About just over a tenth off of Ericsson right now. He's on his out lap to put in what will most likely be his final run of the session. JV into turn 1 there. 15th of the stands. Fan with the slowest time on offer right now. And he will want to keep this lap clean. And also the Mercedes of Sniper Hunters reserving for the part of the team reserving for Che and Pope tonight. Yet to set a valid lap. He's got work to do here in this final lap. Well, it could be his, I dare say actually, yeah, will be his final lap regardless. He'll make it round. Whether or not he'll make it round, whether or not he'll actually manage to set a time. Only get one shot. Grimmie on that lap as well. As is Lemons. BJ Loud's currently on a time lap. No, he's not. PJ waiting to go again on his end of his out lap. Several cars who are coming through start their final runs. Just over a minute to go. Everyone out on track. Not a single car right now in the pit lane. Everyone's going for it here for what they know could be a very chaotic race. Has all the ingredients to do just that. Yellow flags all over the place. Everyone's just trying to find space for each other. One of the Haas cars there. Pulling into the only car in the pit lane. Grimmie will start his final lap. Lemons is on his way through. 30 seconds. I'm not sure what's happened there. Someone may have just disconnected. Checkered flag has now fallen. I believe everyone's had a lobby crash here by the looks of things. The checkered flag is out, so we are more or less at the end of the session. And that may just mean a Grimmie pole. So I'm more or less still it for qualifying by the looks of things. I dare say we'll be seeing a lobby restart, unfortunately. Just bear with us a minute, we're just going to try and resolve the issue here. Probably over the line. So there's your results then. More or less, it would most likely be the group you use for the actual race itself. So Grimmie on pole then, Lemon second, BJ third, Landlord down in fourth, Zach Sherman fifth, PJ sixth, Ericsson 7th, TJ 8th, Prolo 9th, and Alvar rounds out your top 10. Right, so that will be your top 10, most likely for the start. Any changes I'll let you know of before we get underway during the formation lap. So Back with you in a few minutes for the start of the race. So we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's one-shot qualifying after we were thinking a bit of ride during the during the actual qualifying session towards the end. So a diplomatic decision means we are now taking qualifying. Everyone gets 1 lap to try and set the best time. It's quite difficult to commentate here, so we'll just keep an eye on how things are going here. We'll remind you of the stories coming into tonight's Grand Prix and the stories from last week's Japanese Grand Prix. So in terms of last week's race, a strategic master plan. FAG implemented an excellent soft tyres strategy in Japan to move 11 places. So good stuff from him. Lemons is back tonight. He's in the Mercedes this week, and he's said to be thrilled at the podium on his debut in the Aston Martin, serving after Grimio's race ban has now been served. He leads by 20 points in the championship. And for those of you who have just joined us, the good news is that the governing bodies ratified the extension of the season, which will now finish on June 12th. So including this one, we have 6 more rounds of hard action to come. Things to look out for tonight in terms of Constructors' Championship. Mercedes scoring 43 points in Japan. They've closed in on McLaren and Aston Martin. 53 points separate all 3 teams. Track temperature could be a big problem tonight. Wet race is an unlikely occurrence, but we never know, it could happen. And the big news is a returning driver tonight. Lucky Lambert returns to the league as of right now as a reserve and believed to sign on full time for the new season. Here they go, and everyone off the final corner. Landlord looks to be on top right now. Into the last turn. Who has the best time? And this is a very, very different looking qualifying here. Landlord on pole. The 3rd different pole sitter this season. So Landlord on pole then. BJ will start 2nd, Alvar 3rd, brilliant qualifying there. Websy in 4th, Zach Sherman 5th, Snipe Hunter 6th, C110P Fan 7th, Ethan 8th, TJ 9th, and JB around at your top 10. So that is your starting grid then for the US Grand Prix. We're back with you in a few minutes' time now for the start of the race. Get going for all this time, so look forward to it. So we go again then, seconds away now from the start of the Grand Prix, about a minute to go before we get underway here in the United States of America. The fantastic Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, a fantastic facility for racing, and hopefully with that mismatched grid, we should be in for a very entertaining race tonight. Salve Grimio's attempt to extend his championship lead to a total of a maximum of 46 points could go a bit awry after the end of the qualifying session. Landau becomes just the 3rd different pole position in 19 rounds. That just shows the dominance of Grimio, or mainly Grimio and Che in there as well. Grimio has taken 14 pole positions from 19 races. Che has taken 4, and now Landau has taken 1. Landau has 2 wins this season. Have 5. May have 5. My math may be wrong. So far, in terms of race winners, we had Grimio's won races, Oliver's won races, TJ has won a race. We also have Fan who won 1, BJ won 2, and we Landau won 2 as well. We might have won 1. So here we go then. There's your final 30-second countdown for the start of the race. It should be a very entertaining one indeed. Before we get underway, make sure to subscribe for more future Races Driving League content as we wind up Season 14 and the title fight reaches dramatic climax. Both the Drivers and the Constructors' Championship is all still to play for. Landlord on pole. It's the United States Grand Prix, and it's next.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So your starting tyres then. 2 takers on the soft tyres, Alvar and Zach Sherman. The majority of cars on mediums and hard. The hards look to be the main choice, so going longer into the first stint perhaps.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking it right, and which ones have got it horribly wrong.
So Landau then, for the first time this season, will lead the field to the grid. Of course, we're no strangers to seeing an Aston Martin leading the pack to turn 1. McLaren with BJ there alongside him. Of course, BJ and Landau scrapped earlier on this season in Australia for the victory. BJ emerging on top on that particular occasion. Now they get set for another thrilling duel here in USA. The last two cars taking their place on the grid. After that frantic one-shot qualifying has completely mixed up this grid. We're in for 28 laps of hard racing action here in the Americas. It's the United States Grand Prix, round number 19 of the championship. The 5 red lights are on, and for the 19th time this season, it's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. Good get away from both cars as we charge towards that first corner. How comes Alvar? Pass by, look to the outside, going into turn 1. Landau's to cover the inside, looking underneath. Alvar trying to go on the outside on the soft tyres into turn 1. Everyone get away through nice and clean. 4 wide back there in that first corner. Everyone gets away nice and clean here. Alvar at second place. Landau shows the way through the S's. Zach Sherman right there behind, taking Websey for the 4th spot. And Grimio up back to his starting position here in 14th. And we've got Thought a car around, but I think everyone's okay. Single file for the majority of the pack here as Landau leads the first sector. He had the right getaway there. BJ defending from Zach Sherman as they run towards the left hander. We're right on board with the Red Bull driver. He looks to the inside perhaps. Alvar getting very close to the back of the Aston Martin here. There goes Zach Sherman on the inside. Side by side with the Dutchman here. I've got a car around. And that is the that's the Alfa Romeo. And that is Lucky Lambert on his return to the RDL, falling down the order here. He's got a lot of work to do to catch back up to the field. It's about 5 seconds back here. So he's got work to do. Zach Sherman getting the job done on BJ to move to 3rd place, but BJ not letting him have it just yet. He's going to look back to the inside. There's 2 of them still going at it here to the right-hander and now looking towards the next left. It's going to be very tight between the pair of them. Zach Sherman gets in front, going into the braking zone. Will BJ try and switch back on the exit and doesn't get a bit of room to try it. Zach Sherman then emerges on top in the battle for 3rd as Landau leads Alvar here. Alvar really sticking with the race leader here and looking to try and make a move into these last couple of corners if he can. Williams, 9th in the Constructors. They could really do with some points here. Alvar scored 51 points all season. Lucky Lambert retiring from the race here. And a virtual safety car deployed. I'm not sure what's happened. But Lucky out of the race here. And that's not how he wanted his RDL return to go at all here. So, unfortunate to have him out so early. Down to 19 cars then. And Landau gets a brief break from the Alvar onslaught there for P1. He's gained 1 place at the start. Joe has gained the most places so far. It's tied between several drivers. JB, Connie, and Lycon have all gained 3 places. Mr. TJ has lost 4. That's the most of any car save for Lucky Lambert after losing 8 after that spin on the opening lap and then the subsequent retirement. So just waiting now to get back underway. Grimio started in 14th after qualifying. The one shot destroying his 15th pole position of the season. He's now up to P12, so 2 places gained. He's got no setup on the car, so I'm told. Ran out of time to put his setup on. So his chances of trying to increase his lead on Taylor could be in jeopardy tonight. Waiting for that green flag to come back out. Alvar wants to get right to work. And there it goes, green flag's back out on lap number 2. Alvar to the outside, he's got room going to the braking zone. He's going to look to the outside, looking upstairs on the exit, still there alongside Alvar at the right hand of the next corner. He's at the inside. And Alvar looking to take the lead, and he will take the lead off of Landau. Fantastic stuff. Williams lead the way here. Zach Sherman looks to the inside, this contact. Zach Sherman running to the back of Landau there and losing an end plate of his front wing, and that will be crucial for the Red Bull driver here on the circuit that requires that bit of downforce at the wing really provides. But Alvar then leads the way now, and already a second clear of the former RDL champion Landau. Zach Sherman into the pits then, and DRS deployed for the first time today. Well, a hard hit for Zach Sherman, making his way into the pit lane. Front wing change. And Zach will now be at the back of the field, where Lucky Lambert was, but a bit further back perhaps. Everyone now through turn 1. Nice and clean. Ericsson, the last of those cars in the lead train. Alvar, 9/10 clear of Landau, going towards that DRS zone. He's going to try and stick it in front, get as far out as he can. Those soft tyres will definitely help his case here. Will he be trying to go for the same thing that Fan was going for in Japan last time round? Because Zach Sherman was the other soft tyre starter. I dare say he would have nabbed second in a very entertaining fight with Alvar. Should he not have made contact? Went for perhaps a bit too early, but no DRS for Landlord here, crucially. There is your telemetry on the bottom of your screen. Fan the first car with DRS then. Websy back there in 5th place. Further back here, we've got Lemon. Shall I go for a move on Curtis? We'll get the move done going into the braking zone. Second RDL start for the Takeover Racing League champ. Grimmy up to 10th place now. Starting to pick these guys off for Verstappen style. Lycon passing BJ Caleb P15. Up front, those soft tyres doing the business for Alvar. He's developed an 1.8 second lead over Landlord. Could not have asked for a better start to this Grand Prix, so it's the fastest lap in the process. BJ running third. Looking to close in, yellow flag for the back, and that is his teammate Daniel Aaron is taking a trip off into the gravel and driven the car into the barrier. I dare say the front wing gone on that Williams. Can't quite see it. Yes, it is. No front wing on one of the Williams. And down to the pit lane then. The third car in more or less 3 laps to have some kind of problem like that. Alva 1.7 seconds over Landlord. BJ may have just fallen out of range there. We'll have to wait and see in the exit. And he has fallen out of range, but Fan is not. Fan's still very close, half a second back from his teammate right now. Websy close behind him, about 6 tenths separating the pair of them. Now things are looking good for McLaren. They're sitting 36 points back in the Constructors' Championship from Aston Martin. As of right now, 19 points going their way in the Astons. That could change if Grimio finds way through the field, which he's struggling to do right now. He's 6 tenths back from Ethan in 9th place. So McLaren will gain those crucial few points. Now what does BJ do here? Does he choose to try and maybe let Fan go, try and take on Landlord himself? They're both within DRS range of the Aston Martin. Who's still not in DRS range for Alvar, who's now about to lead with 2 seconds. And there's a car off. It's Lycon is out of the race already. The Haas car off there in the last part of the right-hander. What happened to him? No safety car. So we'll continue on here, down to 18 cars in this race. And Fan has got around BJ there. So now into P3 himself. He's got to close those few tenths back up before he can have a go at DRS. Now Daniel Aaron retired from the session too. And could that bring out the safety car? It doesn't look like he's going to. 2 retirements then. Landlord starting to close Alvar's lead now. 1.5 seconds the gap. And 3 cars already at the session. Websy giving chase to BJ now. The Ferraris benefits particularly well from qualifying. Connie Goldman, who rarely ventures out the pit lane in qualifying usually, found himself up in 11th. He's now up to 7th. So good points for them right now. They're working on trying to chase down Alpine in the Constructors' Championship for 5th place. 13 points separating them. So these points definitely help them, considering Alpine are scoring no points right now. And right now this will move them clear and into 5th. So Websy's had a fantastic season so far. 7th in the championship, 106 points to his name. In that fight with TJ and Ethan in the race with P6. Landlord running P5 in the standings. Perhaps could close that gap a little bit. It's quite a way to Fan and BJ in 3rd and 4th. And obviously an even further way to Grimmy and Oliver. He's currently 136 points off the lead. But could try and claw that back. Speaking of Grimmy, he's up to 9th place now. He's managed to get around Ethan. His next target being Snipe Hunter, who's filling in tonight as part of the team reserving for the Mercedes pair, Pope and Che. looking to try and take Courtney Goblin if he can. It's not the best of exits than the Ferrari driver. And DRS deployed and the battery on as well for both cars. Snapham's getting a great tow here. So look to the inside of the Ferrari going towards the braking zone. He's closing, he's alongside, he's in front narrowly into the braking zone. He's got a nose in the clear, and on the exit has the inside line. But does Courtney Goblin come back at him? No, he does not. So Sniper Hunter now in P7. Looking to try and bring some points home for Mercedes here. Lemon's running down in 13th. Not the best of starts for him so far. 2 places gained, but it's not enough for him right now. Up front, Alvar into the pits then. Well, the majority of the way so far. Lando reassumes the lead. And Fan on those medium tyres will start to hunt him down in the race for that first spot. Alvar on set hard tyres here. And he'll probably try and do the rest of the race on those. Those hard tyres could definitely go 21 laps to the end. And short for safety car could make a change. So Alvar turns in a fairly good position. Zach Sherman sits the fastest up of the race, 1 minute 37.2 on the mediums. No more cars on softs. One stop the choice in the majority of races here. And Fan is definitely getting close to Landlord here. Grimio is now taking Courtney Goblin. It's up into 7th place with the pitting of Alvar also giving him another spot. Snap-on's chasing JB now. Medium tyres, DRS deployed, good tow. Is it enough to go for something? Bit too far back perhaps. Wise to avoid it. Fan half second back from Landlord, closing that gap quite quickly. Oh, a bit of a wobble there from McLaren on the exit, but he's got away with it, kept the car under control. And Websy also giving chase. He's chasing a McLaren. So Websy there, running 4th. 12 points will do him very nicely. This battle with TJ and Ethan, who's currently set P9 and P10. 7/10 separating the 2 leaders here as you can start lap number 8 of this Grand Prix. A long way to go. Grimio closing in on Snipe Hunter and JB, who are battling for position. 5th on the racetrack they're going for. Single file throughout the field. And Grimio is disconnecting the session here. This could be trouble for him. Snap Hunter trying to get around JB is defending quite well here. We'll see who emerges in front. Ericsson gets the first time penalty of the night. 3 seconds, multiple warnings. Snap Hunter closing in again. Is he close enough this time to go for it? It'd be a brave man to go for it into the braking zone, but not going to try it. Lemonster will try a move, potentially inside of Prologue. Went a bit too deep there, and may have made contact with TJ. No end plate damage. Lucky to get away with it if there was contact. Grimio rejoining, still in 7th place, but falling back a bit from the Sniper JB fight. And Websy's pulled out that 2.6 second lead over JB in 5th yellow flag, and that is Lemons, who spun it right there in the middle of the corner. Keeps it out of the way of the racing line and rejoins in 16th place. That could be 17th. So slow to allow Zach Sherman through, and he's away. So Lemons here to the back of the pack. PJ into the pits. Might start seeing those medium tyre runners pit in a few laps' time. Right now, those mediums not having any benefit for Fan. He's close, within that 1 second gap, but he's not close enough to go for a move. It's been that way since he got into 2nd. course, he's still got a decent amount of battery, but so does Lando. Landon's got almost double what C1 SMP fan has right now. Webster's trying to close that gap. JB perhaps going under threat from Sniper. Again, he's still not close enough. And Sniper's going to start watching his mirrors as well, because Gremio is right there behind him, reconnected, back in action, and looking to try and swipe P6 if he can. Of course, regardless, if he so much as just scores points, he extends that championship lead. On to that 10 then, this Grand Prix. Loud still leads Fan. BJ in third. Websy fourth. You see them going up to turn 1 there. Into turn 1. Everyone's single file right now. And quite spread out a bit too. .37.5 seconds separates the entire spread of the field. But just half a second separating our 2 race leaders. But how long can Fan go on those mediums before making a change onto, I assume, behind the set hard tyres? Yellow flag. And that is a car's going around. That's Curtis in the Alpine is going around as Gremio takes Snap Hunter here. They're still going side by side. Colin Gunn's got a front row seat for this fight. The Aston might get the run on the outside. And might try and take JB here. JB defends the lower line, but Gremio goes even deeper into the corner. Sniper Hunter looks up behind them. And Gremio comes away with P5. But JB not done with them yet. Just perhaps. Nope, JB holding on to 6th, but perhaps being threatened for 6th by Sniper Hunter who falls back into line. JB perhaps knows it's not his fight with Gremio. Of course, he's looking to try and gain points on Williams as he gets a time penalty that won't help his case at all. Currently sitting 9 points behind. Excuse me, sorry. Sitting 11 points, behind Williams. In the constructors' south is AlphaTauri. Landon still leading here. And Fan doing all he can to try and close in. But those tyres are not getting any fresher. Snap onto the battle with him and JB resuming here. How close the Silver Arrow gets. It's back of the AlphaTauri. May have lost this a little bit there for that last corner. Courtney Goblin gets penalties behind. Sniper will have this place regardless of if he finishes in front of JB and let Bradley stays within that 3-second range. Fan closing but not much. JB could fire under threat from Sniper Hunter for the first time. Sniper to the inside, going to go late on the brakes. Avoiding locking up this time around. He's there on the outside. In the braking zone, he's got the edges. JB by a nose here. Half a car separate than the AlphaTauri. Sidling back in front once again. And I always notice he takes that lower line going through that left-hander. Moving back onto the standard line for the right. Now keep him in front of Sniper Hunter for a bit longer here. Gremio now getting to work on closing down the 4 leaders. 3.5 to Websy in front as Prolo comes into the pit lane here. Prolo away from the pit lane, then medium tyres on the car. How long will Fan go into this one? The question that needs to be answered. He's just not getting any closer. That first sector is really hurting him. He gains a decent amount of back here. Perhaps a bit more on the main straight. But loses it again in Sector 1. About half a second behind right now. The sniper now. Oh, in front of JB. There may have been contact between the pair of them. Courtney Gom goes sliding through to try and claim P7 for himself. But JB's still there alongside him. Into the corner they go, side by side. And close to contact here. One wrong move could send them both out. JB on the outside. What a battle that is there. For P7, but Sniper Hunter in the clear. And 7/10 in front. Now, does Courtney Gom try and make a move on the exit? If he wants to, he's not quite close enough. Courtney Gom giving chase now to JB. Trying to get around him. Not the best of run for the end of the S's. Look at the difference in approaches to each corner these two are taking. Courtney Gom runs a bit wide there, or almost runs wide. Saves the car, but loses a bit of time. Still well within DRS range though, so not a problem. And speaking of in DRS range, it's still Fan here. Still doing his level best to try and close in, but not doing enough right now. Can't imagine how frustrating it must be for him to have to sit behind this Aston Martin. TJ and JB going out of position. TJ out of nowhere here. He's on the outside for the corner. Looking for a solid exit. Oh, he's on the inside. Oh, JB almost losing the car a bit. Saves it, but falls behind TJ. And Fan into the pit lane here. Corner end to his first run on those medium tyres. Just two more cars on mediums yet to make their first stops. Sorry, no, just the one car to make that first stop. That'll be Sniper Hunters running in 5th. Well, then gets a bit more breathing space as of right now. 3 seconds to BJ. Further to Websy. As Prolol sets the fastest lap. 136.733. That's quite a fast lap compared to the rest of the pack. I haven't set any more than a 136. Sorry, 137, sorry. Only car in the 136s. Fresh medium's definitely helping his case. Plus the most clear track safe for the Alpine in front of him. Who want to try and get by without any effort. So yeah, almost nothing behind Landlord there. He's close to Kveska, just a dot in the back of the mirror. As Prolon now gets a penalty for multiple warnings, that won't help his case. And trying to get around the Alpine. Of course, I'll wait to see where Alvar comes out as JB passes. Courtney Gom, the pair of them going to battle for P7 now. Courtney back to the inside. Looking underneath, but JB gets a good drive off. JB have the inside line here. Yellow flag, and that is Grimio who spun the car. And all of a sudden, the majority of that lead that Grimio possessed over the cars behind him evaporated, vanished just like that. Ethan into the pit lane here. Sniper just a second back from the championship leader. And BJ, if I do say so myself, is actually closing in on Landlord here. That gap was 3 seconds, it's down to 2.4 now. Ethan making a change from medium tyres, only car in the pit lane. So I dare say we'll see a few more towards the end. Again, but keep an eye on where Alvaro is right now. Nice running drive to have made his pit stop. Because he was a bit in front of Landlord before he came into the pits. Now has Landlord gained that time back? This is actually gets a penalty. 6 cars now have penalties in the running order. All 3 seconds. dare say we won't see the hard tyre runners to the pits for at least another 5 laps or so, perhaps. We'll be hoping for a safety car of some kind so that they can pit, maintain track position, and be on fresh medium tyres to go to the end. But Landon into the pit lane here, so contradicting what I said. Now we'll see where Landlord emerges, because he'll be on the medium tyres, I would assume. So BJ now takes the lead. Grimmer comes out in front of Landlord. Where does Landlord emerge? Comes to pit exit. And Alvar looking to try and pull in front. And he does pull in front of Landlord. It's very close, but Alvar Landlord on the inside there. They're side by side on the exit. Oh, Landlord almost losing the car there. And there goes Van actually losing the car off into the grass. Recovers it. And keeps himself going. But Alvar up in a net first place now. BJ now leads. Websy second. Grimmy up to third. Snipe Hunter still on the medium tyres, running in fourth. I dare say I see the strategy from Snipe Hunter looking to try and go as long as he can on those medium tyres and switching to a set of softs at the end of the race, which could pay off in his favour. But it's not paying off right now because TJ is closing in on a rate of knots here. Not close to go for it into the corner. But Sniper locks up a little bit there as Ericsson makes the pass on Courtney Cobham for P7, but Courtney's still there with him. Dropping back and into the 8th spot. Alvar running 9th, but he'll be under threat from the Aston Martin just behind him. Van 2 seconds back from these pair. Websy pitting. Someone continues to stay out. Several cars in front. The 2 former leaders pitting. Alvar with DRS, Landon also with DRS. So defend the insides. Alvar to go towards turn 1. They're side by side into the braking zone. And Alvar should come out in front. It's been very close though. Landor gets through, has the inside line for turn 2. Move Landor back into the net first place. But Alvar's not going to let him get away here. So when Landlord's medium tyres run out, Alvar's will still feel fast. This is what he's hoping here. He's dropped back a little bit there. He's going to want to try and stay in DRS range as best he can, but not make too many mistakes in trying to close him down. Dropping away quickly, but we'll have DRS this next part of the circuit. Already a second back. As TJ makes the pass to Sniper Hunter here, looking for third. BJ with a 10-second lead over Grumio right now. That spin definitely did not help his case. BJ staying out even more here, but no, so going to go into the pit lane. And does Grumio follow him in? Or does he try and stay out and try and gain time? He's coming in. On to lap 18. Sniper Hunter continues to stay out. Landlord sets the fastest lap of this race. So Sniper Hunter now leads on 17 lap old mediums. Grumio down to 8th place here. That could continue to change. On the exit, Prola looks to go charging through. Going to be side by side at turn 1. Prola gets out in front. Ethan trying to switch back on TJ on the exit. Yes, he does. TJ thrust right into action here. Going side by side with the Red Bull towards the S's. Getting in front, yellow flag. And that is Ericsson who's gone off. Getting a bit of a ride there. Landl retakes the lead of this race. Alvar, 11 lap old hards. He'll move back into second when Sniper Hunter pits. This Websy passing Ryan Lemons side by side here into the left-hander. Lemons cedes and gives Websy the place. Perhaps going to come back at him though. Landlord 2 seconds clear of Sniper Hunter now. That's what we've been waiting for throughout the day. It's just 10 laps away from victory. Alvar passing Sniper Hunter on the main straight here. Going into turn 1. And crucially, Alvar with that penalty as well. Now BJ on a fresh set of medium tyres. What does Fan do here? Because of course BJ let Fan go earlier on in the race when the situation was reversed. But they need to find a good place to switch it up. Best place being on the DRS straight. Won't lose too much time. Not going to do it right here. But in doing so, might allow Websy in the inside of both cars. That was very close. He may have locked up a bit there. Websy comes our way in front of Fan. But BJ on the chase here. It's the inside of Sniper Hunters, whose medium tyres have done the distance. Soft tyres, I've no doubt, going on that car. Fan gets back in front of Websy. Sniper locks up once again. And Fan won't get stuck behind these guys too much. For too long. Fan pulling out 4 seconds now on Alvar in second place. Fan around the outside, Sniper Hunter for P4. And Websy making the pass too. Locking up massively there. Might hold up his teammate a little bit there. And finally, into the pits. Soft tyres to the end, I have no doubt. Lemons has been on those. Been on those tyres since the opening lap. Grimio sets the fastest lap. Up to P7 now. BJ closing on Alvar, trying to find a place of opportunities for pass. Sniper Hunter now down to the back of the field. In terms of gap to leader, it's 26.6 seconds. Can he make anything up with that sort of those soft tyres in the car? Only soft tyre running in the order. I dare say Lemons make that switch too. Oh, car around. That's Zach Sherman. Whose day has gone from bad to worse. Last of the running cars in the order. BJ there around Alvar in second. And we'll try and close that 4.3 second gap. On medium tyres that are slightly fresher than that of the race leaders. Sniper closing in on Ericsson. Keep an eye on this comeback towards the late stage of this race. Are points still on the cards there. PJ Keller goes wide, 3 second time penalty for him. 3 cars going at it there. PJ, Curtis and Cottony all racing for 12th. 6 seconds behind JB in 11th. And Lemons also calling it quits now into the pit lane. Looking for a late Silver Arrow charge into the last part of this race. Down the pit lane he goes. Yellow flag, sector 3, and that is Ericsson around. Lemons emerging in front of his teammate here. Both cars with work to do. Can they use their expertise and teamwork to get to the field together? Their first targets being these 3 cars around them. Yellow flag. That's Prolo's gone off. And both AlphaTauris already have penalties. This could make their day a bit worse in trying to nick some points. Williams still have Alvar there in 3rd place. Will be some big points for them. Try and move them Not just clear of AlphaTauri, perhaps in front of Alfa Romeo 2. Ericsson, 3-second penalty. But no points for him on offer right now. Lemons passing Curtis. Sniper going to try and follow him through if he can. Late on the brakes. Looking to get inside of the Alpine. And oh, the Alpine going off onto the rumble strips. And Grumio now the penalty. And I dare say 6th will be the best he hopes for right now. He's already 3.7 behind Websy in 5th. And that won't help his case at all. The gap as it stands in the Drivers' Championship currently sitting at 33 points as of right now, which is still doable for Chelova to bring back. Especially with the fact we have 5 more races to go after this one. Prolonged to the pit lane here. Mercedes just 2 cars away from scoring 1 point. Lemons looks to be on hands to take it. Courtney Goblin and PJ Khaled, both of them have penalties. They can both get within 3 seconds of JB. And they'll both swipe points. Yellow flag, sector 2. And that's Alvaro's gone around. No! Alvaro and the Williams, who of course briefly led earlier on today, now falling away from that lead pack. Grumio into 5th now. TJ making the move on the Williams. We'll keep on fighting. So we've seen Alvaro light things up over the closing stage of the season in the past. Took several podiums towards the end of season 13. Including one in Brazil when Grumio clinched the title for the 5th time in his career. Looking to try and clinch it for a 6th this season if he can. Websy is very close to Fan now. And speaking of close, BJ is closing that gap. He's got 6 more laps to close down a 3-second lead. Landlord in control right now. Websy all over Fan and trying to find an opening. And Grumio 2 seconds now back from Websy, so he's closing that gap. But can he close it enough in time to both get around both cars and pull out a 3-second gap? Websy frustrated right now, trying to get around Fan. Both cars have little ERS left. Grumio's got about a 5th of his tank left in the battery. Lemon's in 10th place now. Websy closing on Fan here, looking to go for it here into the corner. Gets close in the braking zone. Oh, and maybe a little bit of contact there. Both cars coming away largely unscathed. Websy on the outside, Fan on the inside. Who emerges in front? The Ferrari or the McLaren? It's going to be the Ferrari who gets in front. Websy into 3rd place now, but Fan trying to come back on the inside, won't come back, and Grumio now joins the fight. BJ, 2.4 seconds back from Lanley. Hasn't gained much, if anything, this lap. Getting about a 10th at best. He needs more in these next 5 laps. And always try and clinch the victory. JB running P9 right now. Looking to try and keep in front. Keep a 3-second gap to Lemons in 10th. Yellow flag. And that is Fan who may, of course, sorry, no, that's not Fan. I'll made my mistake. That's Curtis who's gone around. I thought it was Fan. I saw the yellow come up. I thought it was some form of contact, but my apologies there, Curtis. He gets away unscathed down in P17 of the last of those running cars. 10 seconds back from his next opponent. Grumio around Fan though. Prolong now with the fastest lap. And that'll take it away from Fan. Yellow flag again is Curtis again. Spinning at the exit of the penultimate corner. I'm looking for the pits here. He's going to call it a day. Ooh. Into the pits twice. He's out of the session. Curtis becomes the 4th retiree of this race as Grumio gets around Websy for 3rd. Fan falling away now. Web's going to try and stay with the champion as they make their way through. 2.6 seconds out of the gap between the two leaders. BJ has lost time here. That's not what he wants to do. And Leonard just 4 laps away now from another victory this season. Aston Martin have definitely upped the ante here. We'll look to be a race perhaps in McLaren trying to close that Constructors' Championship gap. And that looks to be them extending it. Yellow flag, and that is Curtis' stopped AI. Which is now gone. No issues there. We keep on going. And look at that. Grimmy already almost a second clear of Websy. But he's got to gain a bit more. He's got to gain about 2 more seconds. 2.2 to be exact before he gets out of that range. PJ passing Cotney here. Heading side by side into the S's. A bit of contact. But PJ comes away with the spot. They got a sniper onto the inside, trying to take Cotney Goblin. He will take Cotney Goblin. Around the outside there, had the inside line back to himself. Now try and take on PJ Khaled. He sits 8 seconds back from Lemons right now. Just 3 more laps left to go for Lionel when he crosses the line. Sniper's taking PJ for P11. And BJ still 2.5 behind. Grimio not being allowed to get away by Websy. We're still keeping close to him. And if Van keeps within DRS range, I say he's got a good chance as well. £30 points on the gap in the championship. If things stay how they are. Excuse me, sorry, 35 points. As it stands, without the penalty, with it being brought back in, it's 30 points. So I'm correct. But Websy needs to stay in DRS range here. Yellow flag, sector 3. That's Prolog's gone around. Covers the car, getting still going. That's all his issue. Still holding that fastest lap, which is what Chair will be hoping that Lionel can keep away from Lionel at this point. Prolog gets another penalty. Into the pit lane here, as is Zach Sherman. TJ passing Fan. Fan really dropping back in these late stages. P6 right now for the McLaren driver. And Alvarez trying to close back in with Ethan on his tail. JB in 9th and Lemons in 10th. But that could change this next straight if Lemons can get close enough. Do those soft tyres still have much left in them? We'll have to wait and see. Landing on the 3rd sector now. He's got just over 2 more laps to go. Looking for the victory here. Lemons mighty close, but not close enough just yet. Two laps to go for Landlord. BJ running second, 2.2 behind. And it's looking like, thanks to Fan's apparent mistake, as Alvar spins out there. And Alvar now looking to fall out the points, perhaps completely here, after a race in which he started second thanks to that frantic one-shot qualifying. And led for a few laps at the start, including a net first place earlier on as Lemons gets JB for P9. Excuse me, for P8, sorry. Alvar now a Sniper Hunter right on his tail. As Cotney Goblin goes to the inside of PJ into turn 1. Looking at the braking zone. They're dead even going towards 2. And PJ has a nose in front. And Fan with a penalty there, I saw. PJ merging in front. But Cotney's still all over him here. He's going to the outside. He might get it done here. Have the inside for the left-hander. PJ gets in front. Up front, the gap between the two leads, the closest spin throughout this little tussle for P1, 2.1 seconds the gap. And now 2 dead. Landlord then, who has seen his teammate take the majority of Aston Martin victories this season, now sits one lap away from claiming another one of his own. And Grumio right now in 4th place in the running order with that penalty applied. But if he can gain a few more tenths on Websey on this final lap, could sneak away with 3rd place and bring that championship gap up to 35 points. It'll be 32 if he doesn't do so. A gap which Chalova backed him to try and close it back in, give us a title showdown going into the next couple of weeks. Still 5 more rounds to go after this one. BJ is starting to close that gap a bit now. I won't be looking now because there's only just over half a lap to go and there's no DRS for him as Lemons gets his time penalty there. Grumio now 3.2 clear. Zach Sherman's at the fastest lap for himself now. No points on offer because he's not in the top 10. Now BJ is closing in. The light flashing on Landlord's car is flashing on BJ as well. Sniper gets a 3-second penalty for himself. But we'll still finish in front of Alvar. On account of Alvar having 6 seconds and not 3. Well, what looked to be perhaps a routine romp to the checkered flag for Grumio was overshot, overmild by 1 shot qualifying. Landlord took advantage of that. He's played his cards to perfection here as he rounds the final corner to take another victory this season. It's alright Landlord who wins here at COTA. BJ comes up in 2nd place. Grumio will take 3rd in the end. 35 points to the gap in the championship. Aston Martin on top. Websey comes up in 4th. Fantastic result for him, beating TJ rather, to the line in 5th. Fan will end this race in 6th, but it could be 7th depending on when Ethan gets to the line. Ethan going to finish 6th, Fan 7th. JB will come in 8th in the end. Good stuff for the AlphaTauri driver to get a few more points on the board to help them close in on Williams, who unfortunately fell towards the back today. Lemons in 9th, Alvar 10th. No, it's no one's 10th, sorry. Alvar out the points there. And a well-managed drive from Landlord to get the victory here today. Try and close that gap a bit more to BJ and Fan in the Drivers' Championship. But a great win then. Prelo, as it was in the initial qualifying session, the last to cross the line for P16. 16 finishes today. And there's a driver finished top of those finishes. Landlord wins it. Another victory for the multiple-time RDL champion. As his 5-time teammate continues to extend his lead. And perhaps looking at a 6th championship, but it could be stopped. Things could still change. There's Landlord though, on top today after the win. And BJ in 2nd, another brilliant podium finish for him. Fantastic, consistent all day. And I dare say that put him back into 3rd place in the driver standings in front of his teammate Fan. So the celebrations begin then for Aston Martin and McLaren, the podium finishing teams today. That gap in the constructors opens up a little bit more. So McLaren will be pushing 100% all the way these next 5 rounds. So I'm looking at your final results. So Landlord wins the race then with BJ in 2nd and Grumio rounds off your podium. Websey in 4th, TJ takes 5th, Ethan 6th, Fan 7th in the end, JB 8th, Lemons in 9th. Sniper Hunter rounds at your top 10. It's Alvar, Courtney Goblin 12th, PJ 13th, Ericsson 14th, Zach Shem 15th, and Swipes the fastest up with it. Disappointing day for after that 5th place start. Prelol 16th, and your 4 retirees Curtis, Lycon, Dan, and Lucky Lambo retired on the 1st lap. So that's your race then, and we'll see if we can get BJ in. We don't, because we don't usually get Landlord or Blaze in for interviews, so we'll get BJ in as always. all in all a brilliant race. Alright, I'm going to PJ unfortunately. Right, so that'll cap things off then for this stream. Unfortunately, no interviews this week, as we don't normally get anything off of Blaze or off of Landlord. Unfortunately, but congratulations to Landlord on the win, BJ for second, and Grumio for third. Fantastic stuff all around. Make sure to join us next week for the 20th round of the championship. Which, if I check the calendar once again, next week we have the Mexican Grand Prix. The also John Jimenez Rodriguez on the 15th of May in a week's time. Here on this channel, you know where to find it. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for all future RDL content as we near the end of the season. And with that, we shall see you at the next race. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.